So what is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. My name's Ray. I'm a guitar player here on YouTube, and today is episode 1 of a brand new video series that I'd like to call Ask Ray. Now, extremely original, I know, nobody's ever done this before on YouTube, but all kidding aside, you guys have been picking my brain on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. I really appreciate that, first off, that you guys value my opinions and want to know what my opinions are on certain gear and bands and guitars, etc., etc. So first off, thank you for that. But second off, I just wanted to take the time to compile everything in a video series, so where if you guys have a question, you guys can check out some of these older videos as they get uploaded and see if I've already answered it. And if you've yet to get a hold of me, you can ask it in this video series. So starting right now, if you have a question for me, leave it down. I almost died. If you have a question for me, leave it down below in the comments of this video and I'll be sure to answer it in a future video. So I kicked this all off on Instagram. I posted a picture and said, hey, if you have any questions for me, ask down below, and you guys did not disappoint. So to everyone that answered on Instagram at StayMetalRay, thank you so much. And if you haven't followed me on Instagram, please go ahead and do so. Stop on by, say hello, what's going on, shoot me a DM. I'd really appreciate it. So now, let's get into your questions. What is your go-to guitar for recording? Well, this guitar that I'm about to say was not my go-to until very, very recently. I recently swapped out the pickups with the Zakk Wylde EMG pickup set that I've got to do a video for, and that will be coming very, very soon. But my 1992 Gibson Les Paul Standard. One second. This guitar is my go-to guitar for recording. These pickups just made this guitar sound absolutely monstrous, and now I know why Zakk Wylde and anybody else who plays Les Pauls with EMGs, like the old school heavy Les Pauls, man, they just come alive, man. They sound so huge. That's the best way to describe it, huge. And this guitar is set up for drop D and standard tuning, I guess you could say. But yeah, man, this thing just sounds absolutely killer. And at the time of filming this video, it's February 3rd, the day after the Super Bowl. Congrats to the Chiefs, hell yeah. Anyway, this guitar was born, if you will, on February 5th, 1992, and it's 8 days older than I am. So if you do the math, if you're playing along at home, this guitar will be 52 years old, and then myself will be 52 as well. So, you know, extremely cool that this guitar is having a birthday here coming up soon. But anyway, this is my go-to guitar for recording. Where were you stationed, and did you play any guitar when serving? Yes, I did play a lot of guitar when I was serving in my later years, and that's how this channel started. This channel started officially in like March 2017, so we're just approaching 3 years now. And I was stationed in Fort Benning, Georgia, recovering from my, one of 10 surgeries that I've had since being in the Army and out of the Army. I got another one coming up here very, very soon on my elbow. Anyway, getting a little off track. When this channel started, I was in Fort Benning, Georgia, and I played a decent amount because I couldn't do my real job. I was an infantryman, and I was hurt, and I couldn't do the normal Army job that I had signed up for. So I passed time by just playing guitar covers and putting them on YouTube, and then that sparked my interest to want to do more and more and more. And now here we are almost 3 years later. So I played a lot in my later parts of my Army career. I was stationed in Fort Benning, Georgia, but I was also stationed in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, as well as Rose Barracks in Vilseck, Germany, with the almighty 2nd Cavalry Regiment. And yeah, so I played all the time in the Army. There's times to play. You know, you get downtime every once in a while when you're in the barracks or when you're in your room. So yeah, I played a decent amount in the Army. How long have I been playing guitar? Well, that's a hard question for me to answer because I took a pretty big break in the middle there because of playing sports and doing the whole Army thing. You know, you couldn't really play guitar when you're at basic training and then at your job training. And then I went to officer candidate school and did infantry school. A lot of downtime, a lot of gaps in between there. Anyway, if I had to put a number on it, I would say playing about 14, 15 years, something like that, give or take, out of those 17 years that I've been playing. Like I said, I started in 2003, but then I had a pretty big gap. So I would say about 14 years collectively of just playing guitar, you know, every day or almost every day. When will I get an orange PPC 412? Probably never. Maybe never. I don't know, because I have really no use for a 4x12 or another 4x12. I mean, I have my Mesa rectifier 4x12 back there, and then I got a nice Marshall 4x12 over here. So I mean, I got two 412. It's like I don't really ever need another one. And you know, whenever I do play live, which is very sporadic, until Luna Muerta gets up and going, my solo band, my solo project, whatever you want to call it, you know, that's. Anyway, just so you guys know, that when it says Luna Muerta on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen every video, that's me. That's me on Spotify. A lot of people are saying, what is that? What band is that? That's me. That's me. That's my stuff. And then also a lot of people say, you know, hey, I love your demos. Where can I find your original music? Or when are you going to post some original music? Man, I got lots of stuff on Spotify, on Google Play, Amazon, Apple Music, all the streaming services. I'm on there through DistroKid. So anyway, whenever I do play live, I'm just going to be using this Mesa cab and or this Marshall cab. So when am I getting when am I going to get an orange cab? Probably never, man. Probably never. I don't really need one. I love the Mesa cab, and the Marshall cab's okay. But yeah, I just probably never, unless it was just for like a one-off video where I mic'd it up in here and then you know, recorded with it. But apart from that, man, yeah, I really don't see one anytime soon. I'm a proficient rhythm player, but I need to work on my leads a little more. What do you use as a base for your lead work? Possibly some tips? Well, I've been getting this question pretty frequently. Kind of surprising, but a lot of people have been asking me about, like, hey, what, I'm kind of like in a rut, whether it's, you know, lead playing or just whatever. A lot of people have been asking this, and I always say first thing right off the bat is, do you have your fretboard memorized? And 99% of the time it's a, no, not at all. I don't know any of the notes. And I go, boom, there you go. Perfect place to start. And that's what I would always start with. That's what I always start with, is having my fretboard memorized. And that's why I don't like playing a lot of tunings. For example, I used to always play in like drop C sharp, drop A sharp, A sharp standard, standard B, standard E. And it's like, as I got to know theory more and more, it started to make me nuts because I wanted to know what I was playing. And I was tired of just using numbers, like fretboard numbers, like, oh, the 7th fret on this string, you know, the low string. I couldn't do that anymore. My brain was like having an aneurysm. I was having an internal battle because my brain was like, man, I want to know these notes. So anyway, how to improve my lead playing, as I know my theory very, very well, and I know my fretboard very, very well for drop A, 7-string tuning, standard tuning, and drop D, because they're all kind of the same tuning, just with one string different on all three. So that's how I would approach my lead playing, and that's how I would improve my lead playing for some tips, is understand your theory, understand what a key is, key changes, chords that belong in the key, and then the notes that belong in each key. And then when you're trying to write a lead, write a solo, you know where to go, and therefore you're not just having your song on a loop, and you're just kind of just like hoping you don't hit a wrong note and then have to memorize it and piece it all together. If you know where you're going and you know what key you're in and you know what modal shapes you can play, man, it makes things a lot easier and makes things a lot more streamlined. And I've been using that approach now for about a year and a half, writing for my own stuff. You know, both demo songs and Luna Muerta. So that would be my advice, sir. Well, guys, that's going to do it for episode 1 of Ask Ray. Thank you so much for everybody who played along, asking me on Instagram, getting this video series up and running. I really appreciate you, and I've got plenty more to go on that Instagram post, so thank you again to everybody. And if you want to continue this video series, help me out, ask a comment, ask a question down below in the comment section of this video, and let's get this video series up and going every week, every Wednesday, and I will not disappoint you guys. A huge shout out to all my patrons, everybody following me on Instagram, and everybody watching at home. I really, really appreciate you guys. I am out of here. Stay metal, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.